Asing dda siag parc y Peter Sailors on our game na haiche noch. Agus yn ielach coed gemich yn da gas y lig 3 pwyngyd cwtramach. The City the ainga noch a Hibernian iddi fi na riplat gaif yn peasnse. Ha Glasgow City y cylch Hibernian. Bia sio i'r BBC Alapa. Hallo Gart en Falcher goer game na haiche noch gesho i'r BBC Alapa. Agus mar a hwrt mi Glasgow City y cylch Hibernian y sio ag parc Peter Sill. Agus am I tolichera them hyfyd drasta ha Pauline MacDonald. Pauline, thank you very much for joining us here on BBC Alapa. And well, it's the month of May, 5 games left to go in the league, and we still are no clearer as to who is going to lift the league title come the end of the month. How exciting are these next few weeks ahead of us? Yeah, they're extremely exciting, and I think, you know, for the players and teams that are involved as well, that's what you want as a footballer. You want to play in the big games, enjoy hopefully the big moments, and it's everything that we would have wanted from this SWPL one season. And, you know, long may it continue, but it's an exciting few weeks for the neutral. And potentially more twists and turns to come as well, as we saw on Sunday, Rangers dropping points against Hearts due to a last-minute penalty. We can see it here. And what were your thoughts on that game? To be fair, I think that from a Rangers perspective, they weren't clinical enough in the first half, and maybe some poor decisions, and just lacked a little bit of finesse in that final third. But, you know, all credit to Hearts. They dug deep, they were compact defensively, and, you know, at 1-0 they're still in the game. And I think probably, you know, poor defending by Davison and opportunistic by Kaelan Miki, and a very composed finish by Kira Grant. How do you think Glasgow City felt after seeing that result? Do you think they can take momentum from that game into tonight? Yeah, I would absolutely agree. I think that for Glasgow City, it's, you know, there would have been a lot of happy faces if they were all watching it together, but I would expect to see them maybe play with a little bit less pressure tonight and a little bit more freedom and creativity. Looking then at the league table at the 27 game mark, as I mentioned, only 5 games left. Glasgow City still in pole position, and they go back to winning ways against Partick Thistle themselves, 2-0 here on Sunday. What did you make of their performance, and do you think they're over the 3 defeats in a row that happened 2 weeks ago? I'm not quite sure they were on Sunday, if I'm honest. I thought that they lacked fluidity, and I thought that they kind of missed that kind of cohesion of the midfield, linking the back line to the forward play. But, you know, all credit to Partick Thistle. I thought they matched them physically, and I thought they defended very, very well, and were unfortunate on a couple of occasions with counter-attacking opportunities. Hibernian then, the away side tonight, they're sitting in 5th, as we just saw there. They'll more than likely finish there at the end of the season. How do you rate their chances here tonight? They've obviously been plagued with injuries throughout the last few months. I think that's going to make it very, very difficult for them. However, as a coach and as a player, that's what you have to deal with. So I'm sure that Dean will have considered that in relation to the game plan that they want to look at and execute tonight. He doesn't have a lot on the bench if he needs to change the game. But as we know, Hibernian, they are very, very good defensively. They'll be compact, they'll be brave, and it's just about taking those opportunities when they come, because I think for them, you know, 4th place is probably maybe a little bit unrealistic, especially if they don't take anything out of tonight's game. Hibernian, Dean Gibson was talking after the game on Sunday when they lost 3-0 against Celtic, that it's maybe about pride for them now till the end of the season. What do you make of those comments, and how do the players, do you think, motivate themselves for the final few games? I think for the players and the staff at Hibernian, they'll see this 5th position as very much an underachievement for this year in terms of the goals that they potentially set out. But I think for everybody at the club, it is about pride, and it's about making sure that you maintain that professionalism, and you try to do your very best on a weekly basis. And maybe for them, they have to start looking at this as the building blocks for next season. We saw there very tight still at the top of the table, Pauline, but the bottom of the table, Glasgow women officially relegated now after losing 1-0 to Spartans at the weekend there. Just your thoughts on their season? It just didn't quite work out for them. No, I think it was always going to be very challenging for anybody now coming from that SWPL 2 into this SWPL 1 league, given the level of investment and professionalism that there now has. And I think, you know, potentially for Glasgow women, there was a lot of significant change, which made that transition even more challenging, and a very, very young group of players. But you have to, you know, give credit to the staff there and the players for, you know, continuing week in, week out, not being defeatist, and trying to focus on how that they could develop as individuals and collectively in terms of performances. Montrose have taken their place. They got promoted on Sunday. Well done them, but they need to look at what happened with Glasgow women and take note of it, as it is a tough league. Yeah,
Yeah, it definitely is, and I think that Craig Farrow's, has done well in his recruitment. He's brought in some experienced players previously who played at Aberdeen. He's brought in some good, young, talented youth national team players, but I think they'll have to build on that again. And they've also mentioned that they're going to look to, take up semi-professional status, but I think that you have to make sure that with that is the correct infrastructure to support those players.
Well, we'll see what happens with Montrose next season, Pauline, and thank you very much for just
Thank
now.
you.
We'll hear more from Pauline, of course, throughout the game and commentary as well. Sin faravilsing adol adrasa hitching a null goornach aders sonar game na hichenoch Oostjang Macalinang.
Tafelas Vichel is de Pauline leed je weinige erudige haroon nog Glasgow City en is daarvoor er Celtic. Het Koik Rangers, maar zijn we City nog goed zijn. Was het go och gus hij zeggen wel Celtic Koik no Rangers en na hij game leek kutremach a game zo heen kutremach maar met Michael Kraatje der Koik game en Erakel gus season het in kokrie dierig maar wat doen die keer le 3 Skippy en Asas en Arspish le Taik Parks Motorgroep is a free of league league de baan gus heb zit in de maag doshach van a live glee. Ik erg show ik Peters Hill is accountskipper Glasgow City en nog Haley Lauder. Daar hier toerist hij nog de Glasgow City is wel via krië goeien en nog is er shows de coachachken en de coach game in Haroin. Daar hier het game jachtriel en dan je met er thuis je zijn piach er maar er was een game het alle doors de show skipper ha Glasgow City could have marked Keherachrigen van de Dirk Jachen, Lee Gibson het in de Stachens het al en de Erin Klachers, Anna Oscarson het in de stij Immel Elena Gian, Maddie Fulton het in de stij Mianne Parker, dus is Elena Emily Whelan het in de stij van Tijg die Lauren Davidson de Hoertel, meer Howell en Joy 3 Kemmichen Gun Hull. Wel a Hibs had gawn is Hanne en Oscar gawn. De voering of skipper Goedemach Itjer Benedict Haaland is in Hull. En de hen she's toch is trang of his own. En nog Gemiane Parke Ellis Notley. She is skipper Hagawi Roy Kukuzen Leah Tweedy die er kiert game kreeg na hu de Dirk Jachen games en de show. Dan kommer ze te daar wein gashen Daniel kommer zijn. Has in Navarres gewil Leah Eddie die heen buying Hibs nach fit Itjer ach weer Glasgow. Corrum gaan kloeien erin zijn Roy en is het FM de kloeien erin is een squad Harris in de kooi game in Rowan Callum Haswell recht je hakken en nog de goede ruin eigenlijk maar de hoers meer die birach gu birach wanneer nou wel hier zijn koe nou hij fast voor Pauline welcome to the commentary position. It's getting a bit chilly again, but it's nothing new up here. A quick word on Haley Lauder. 200 games, an extraordinary achievement for anyone, isn't it, really?
Yeah, absolutely is. And, she still has, that self-belief, confidence and training at a good level to impact in this league, so long may it continue for Haley.
I was just watching her in the warm-up just below us here, and she always gives you a look and a big smile. And she's been very careful with her pre-match training. She wasn't exactly giving it full throttle, but I suppose you're entitled to. It's all about managing yourself at that level, isn't it? And that degree of commitment.
Yeah, absolutely. She'll know her own body, but I think Haley is an absolute credit to this Glasgow City team. She's been here for a very, very long time, and I think, just now she's a key player for them in terms of her experience, her leadership, and helping their young players, learn the game and understand what professionalism means.
Just making sure there that Hibs only had 11 on the pitch too. I like that. It's thorough attention to detail. Hibs aan de mint had de kiezen ook. Er is een daar houn van de live glee. Aan de orange Glasgow City. Zo goed haal een krachtiger show. Maar ik geloof dat de eerste nog bij Barak Impie Rangers en Celtic. Gezorgd de Rangers. Ach, Giselle. Jonach. Callum Haswell. Kurkuzen Katal. Balak City. Nu is een hagrien zijn waar woel is. De hagrien de Rijn at de Kleha Slie en de Partic Thistle en de Hanik Haley Lauder Brynetje vermoor de Gachken. Wel, hebben ze de hoezie en er waren een toerist. Koik Tursen, John Koik of toerist uit de Kanjage. Koram. Oh, dear Koram. Statement of intent from Emily Whelan.
Yeah, absolutely was, and I think, you know, already we see just a different level of intensity in the way that Glasgow City have started this game this evening in comparison to Sunday.
Goes down as a good save. And we know what damage Hayley Lauder can do from the corners. This is a key part of Glasgow City's whole approach.
It certainly is. I think that was a little bit of commentator's curse there, Hugh Dan.
She plays 200 games and I screw it up in one comment. Mind you, it's a good block. Give a fair credit to Hibs for having anticipated what was going to happen. And they're going to have to be smart tonight. Katie Lockwood. It was a poof to get ours. Caller is the line you owe him or so. Like Kalkata, Liana Hines. You know, this is where they're going to have to make the most of any opportunity like this.
Yeah, absolutely. It's actually a very, very good link-up play with Katie Lockwood, and then she continues our run, and obviously Liana Hines trying that early effort, and you know, absolutely quite right too. Maybe trying to catch Lee Gibson a little bit unawares there.
Interesting press here from Hibs as well. In de Torster City balen voor de mag vatten. De gaat het Gies in de lokse Chinchilla. De Haaland met de Levic in.
Really good adaptation from Glasgow City. They are just looking to play direct, and when you have a striker like Emily Whelan, it's absolutely feasible to do. So I think Hibs need to be careful because the link-up play offer was very good there.
And that was one of the problems on Sunday. They weren't direct enough.
I don't think they varied it up enough for me.
So I give genoeg special guest tonight, interesting observer, Pedro Martinez Losa, the Scottish women's national team manager. Good to see him at a game like this. Casting his eye over the players with a view to what's coming. Cormac's Hibsonist, Lewis at the worst. Hines. Soersla, dat Hibs a poof tegen de worst. Oh, even meer te be Tornes. Tornes gleest in Ashen. Chinchiak op haar Kruai. Hines. Hines at the east. Good work rate from Hibs if they can keep this going.
Yeah, it is, and they've shown good confidence in terms of when they win possession as well, trying to play passes, move the ball out of pressure. And I think, like you said, you know, it's going to be important that when they do have it, they do try and keep it for periods.
Corme lachen duur vast. Stjachen Vokse, Imperial City. Gesvelat, Daniel Puloch. It's pretty close to being a corner, I think.
Yeah, it's a good piece of play. It's a good ball through from Leah Eddy, and Lockwood puts really good pressure on Walsh.
I think that's the challenge on the keeper. Hayley Lauder gevoegd tegen de Horst. Hines van hebben die stuur vast. Gaat er vast aan, Hibs. Hines die is. En die Kiegel zijn nog goed maar de stij. Chinchilla is een boksen. Dus Heinz of the eerst van Torsuurs duwshow in de vaar. Lauder en eerste gaan smaken kuzen. There's some worrying for Glasgow City, the gaps that the space Heinz is getting up this side here.
Yeah, I think there's been some really good patterns of play down there. Good 1-2 touch football between Lockwood, Heinz, and obviously Leah Tweedy involved as well. And I think that's maybe potentially something that they've looked at. Obviously Amy Muir, not a natural left-footed player either, so maybe looking at that as a potential weakness to exploit.
Chinchias Jachen en Mox. Paramela. Oh, Zakia Tall. Ex-City, Kozak. Kozak. Chruhig Gorum Ugesgatagaki, Korum Siviek Haaland. That's something that was missing on Sunday, to be fair.
Absolutely. I mean, she's fortunate that she gets a second chance at it there. But, you know, no mistaken. Very, very clinical. Really good technical player and a very good finish.
Yeah, she gave Haaland absolutely no chance with it. As you say, she was closed down in the first attempt, but two-footed.
Yeah,
all the skills you want.
I think that's probably one of the things that you know, Eileen Gleeson that brought Kozak in, but she's definitely, you know, one of the players in the league that's much more comfortable with both feet, and that's a real attribute.
Oh, Everson Penas sheet.
That looked like a sore one there. Yeah. Fantastic block by Siobhan Hunter, but definitely looked like a sore one.
Well, we saw a lot of this at the weekend, I have to say. There was between the two games we commentated on, there's a lot of people putting their bodies on the line, just the intensity of the competition.
Yeah, I'd agree, and I think, you know, for the teams that maybe don't have the same depth in squad, you can see a little bit of tiredness setting in the latter stages of the games now as well.
Let's have a look at what happened at the block. The shout for handball. Well, it's just a natural movement, isn't it? I would almost put that down as self-defence, really, because it could have been a sore one if she hadn't protected herself. Siobhan Hunter. Mahagalina Hool. Whited. Next Heinz. Stjachen of Oxe. Junior Snokker hier. Chinchilla, Trisha Caster. Davidson, oh, through.
Just too much.
That final ball deserved to be, that should have been much better.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't even know if she has to lift it there, if she can try and roll it in behind that back line earlier. But I think, you know, for me, I think, you know, Hibernian just look a little bit susceptible, you know, good attacking play down that right-hand side again for them, but in those kind of transitional moments, the recovery to defensive shape and to get numbers back wasn't the best.
Tell you one thing, Chinchilla looks she's in the mood tonight. Amy Muir. Gaan Lisje Vaas. Haaland die er rooi gemaakt. Met dat kutten was de Hibs nach Janet Merach Gillis in Heilet. Tuolele. Nu kan maar vatten met de Vries City Partick Thistle die er gaan Athenes de duurt die er Chimical 6 minuten. Ga je het Hoshach. Illy Adams. She's first enough the City. Cara McDavidson in the eerst. Had Alistair in de box. Oh! Kozak, could you hear to a lane, you know, having got the first one, that might, if anything, have seemed like a simpler chance.
Yeah, but I think, you know, this time for me it's a much better ball in by Davidson. Emily Whelan does really, really well to lay off, and it's just maybe a lack of composure. She maybe sees her name in the lights there.
She did try and steer it in, but not quite. Amy Muir, púchtige Orst. De geïrste in de bal, stach in de box, Goma. Haley Lauder, de goal zoals komen eruit. Is je kan bal, torn de schaar. Femi Hibbs, de vluchter er nach geheen in Lorok. Noring heeft hij dat gewie karate gemaakt, maar zijn. Kitty Lockwood de Gianna was. Lauder. Feutje nog. Heinze die is. Ja, en die. Lockwood de Lorok. Dat de vlieg ik est er had torn jaren nog City Lauder. Met de kleine passes had zonnetje. Oh, Cara Michelle. Dat is ook een juiste Hulf wheeling is that. Well, that could have been a grand larceny there. I don't know how she managed to sneak in at the back. There was no flag. She kept playing. Hibbs stopped.
And as every good striker should. But I think for me, Hugh, I think, you know, in these moments of transition, I think Hibbs look really, really stretched, and the spaces between the lines, given the formation they're playing, is playing into the hands of Glasgow City at this moment.
They're playing at so much better pace than they were at the weekend.
Spoke about it at the top of the show, you know, would they take momentum from obviously Rangers dropping 2 points on Sunday as well, and it certainly looks that way.
Stjachari is going to box it. Oh, Hibbs going to poof the rest yet. Stjachari is. Oh, Haaland. Makarira voor Haaland. Hij laat het in de maag. Next Hibbs de Vrisje. Klik er een keer hoor, achter het doen hou. Well, this was a good effort by Haaland, Pauline. It was a tricky ball, and the way she dealt with it was remarkable.
Yeah, she's done really well there. She's made herself big, and good second phase defending as well. By Parry.
Yeah, brave as well, with the forwards coming in on it. Showing out City Gashin, look at that. Chinchilla. Leishman, look at that. Ah, showing very good, yeah. Utterida, Fluhiter, Northern Shears.
She knew what she was doing there, didn't she? Used her body really, really well. That kind of low centre of gravity. Very, very clever.
Clever play. Yeah. Her work rate compared to the weekend is considerably enhanced. Haley Lauder at the east. Haaland is in after that. They're asking Haaland sheet.
I think probably work rate would have been one of the things that maybe Leanne Ross would have spoken to the players about, you know. You have to make your own luck, you know, things happen and you have to bounce back, but hard work at this level should just be a given.
And that's probably particularly true of somebody like Davidson on the far side there, who's just had a bad run, and just there's only one way to deal with it, and that's work it off.
Absolutely.
Caramella, the Hibs Glees the Galore. Getting your Ash, Puppy Lawson. I think she'll be quite happy, Leanne Ross, with the better effort.
Yeah,
better
definitely. I think the intensity is very, very good. There's a real desire to try and impact the game, and to keep the intensity high as well. They're relentless.
Hines. Second of the hand, Val. Cormish or Hibs couldn't pass us the Kayla. This is good from Hibs, good.
It is, and you know, it's something that, you know, Leah Tweedy not had a lot of starts, obviously, for the club since returning from Queen's Park, but it's really good hold-up play by her there, and a good ball into the wide area.
I was very impressed with Hines the last time I saw her at Meadowbank. She put in a tremendous shift, and I just wondered if she needed to be more central to the Hibs effort, but they've obviously sussed out that she can exploit something down this side. Yeah,
definitely. I think she's got very good pace, and she's confident in those 1v1 duels. So yeah, definitely an asset to Dean Gibson's squad this season.
Cormac Hibs for Noshan Maha. Chandler Gleashkir Fikid Minute. Neil Pulach. City at Hoshach Lishan in Tove, Kozak and the Shach Minute. Hibs, Gahuristay, Fatakata, and the Shenna Hummers that beat this Glasgow City, Lishan Hours, Jahakis Elena Cool, Caramela Kata, Notley, Jacker Boxer, because Joe Val, Kuja, Joe Spellak, a shot to Hibs. Well, they're not playing like the team in 5th place at the moment.
No, they're definitely not. It's a great piece of individual skill by Ellis Notley down that right-hand side there, and I'm sure she'll look forward to watching that back.
It's interesting that most of their attacking is coming down this side. They've definitely done some sort of homework on maybe Amy Muir, as you mentioned earlier. So Muir. Jack Galore dan I goni fihef den u kinja gully sur. Whelan gafur trek with Chinchilla. Stjacho, Davey.
Just that final weighted pass there by Chinchilla, but again, really, really good striker play by Whelan to bring Chinchilla into the game, and fantastic first touch inside by Chinchilla also.
A huge gap opened up in front. We had a great line of sight there, just as she could very well have gone through herself, I think. City Gopper Cruiers on the Winnie Garash, Amy Muir. The Rutbeck Anamach. Heinz Lishan Yunzi Vashit. Hibs het er steer Gibson if he could the wheel fatte. Is a sin het er bara korm te Hibs a hooker. Zeg we like le City a goeie gemaakt van de goal. Whelan. Chinchilla the issue. Frustration more than anything else, I think.
Really good athletic play by Chinchilla there, just that drop in the shoulder to then come back inside.
Yeah. She just commits players when she's in this mood. That could be sore. Fichit minutisteach an hiad leimaha. Glasgow hun, Hibs Johnny. Oh, it's a dal as day cuida. Whelan le sua hu irach galishit. Had a good cruiser, a Khadif Shimilaga Chinchia at the end of here at a live flea, but Turkianach Hibs at a shen. That was a beautifully executed. She just didn't put too much on it.
Yeah, it was fantastic. Definitely maybe one from the training ground. I actually thought she'd underhit it initially, but like you say, she just kind of dinks it over, and it's a fantastic header by Emily Whelan, just placing it into that side netting. Well-deserved 2-0 lead for Glasgow City.
And again, giving Haaland no chance at all. Beautifully placed. Eiche gyma fater o Hibs yn esht. Ysgwynig yr ute gyda'r yn arfus o sio Glasgow City y gad a hwylach yn och gytig ag olco cwngdys na twyl. And of course, it's early to say this, Pauline, but goal difference, you mentioned it in your preview comments, goal difference could be a factor at the end of all this.
Yeah, potentially the second thing that was on Leanne Ross's list after Sunday's game, maybe, Hugh.
Yeah.
After hard work.
It took them an awful long time. It was 45 minutes or so before they broke down Thistle. So they've certainly improved on that tonight in all sorts of ways.
Just looks like there's much more desire to try and impact the game and to do things with real intensity.
Amy Muir, Skeola Earth, Whelan, Haley Lauder, Agus Chinchia, the Ish. Shahad at a duel, get that.
Spoke about it a little bit earlier, just in terms of the gaps between the lines of Hibs there, but for me, I think in that moment, you know, Emily Whelan, they can't allow her to drop off into that area and nobody to kind of, at least as the ball goes, step out and apply pressure. She's so good in terms of her link-up play.
Sinach of Grant Scott, his caller in Eklehar Schlie, of Urican manager Hibs, agus van manager, less manager Glasgow City, is we Shul. Veel brecht in Cooper zullen we kosje. Speer caller en ik leg Schlie. Je is een daadskipper has je nog en dus Kurish was kom wel tijd. Zijn stoog het eruit na. Wel, die dat gedaan met kassen is het. Ja, Tweedy. Nu Gary en Estefan City. Gemakara we kamen dan. First nog. Hoe is respiration han je dus kan haast. Kuju kent me goorst. Terugval. Ze zijn het er scherm te hebben, ze balen gelozen. Heinz, hoe je zo de duwshot. Vihef. Zo voor Kuren was dat zitten in de waal, maar een strichtje. Tjia, Janne mensen die is. Valala heen. Moet je het duur willen?
Again, fantastic individual play there by Chinchia. Just scans her shoulder, picks up the ball, and then brings Kozak and Lauren Davidson. And I think, you know, the move itself deserved a much better finish than that.
Yeah, the quality of Chinchia's attacking play tonight is tremendous.
Just leans back on it, Lauren Davidson there, doesn't she?
Yeah, just all wrong, really. Hines and Chinchia. She's not scared to put herself about, is she? She's got playing with a smile on her face tonight. Getting a lot of the ball. No smile for the camera. There you go. I'm not having a lot of luck tonight. Nästa nöj na kuju. En die kreeg aan. Niet geen, just alleen een koelik City. Wel, jullie zijn tegen Rockora met Emily Whelan is it. Interesting call. Sure if she would have outstripped the defence there, but this stiff breeze from right to left is really beginning to impact on us, but in favour of City, and they've got to control that as well.
Yeah, pros and cons I think for both teams, isn't there?
Gia. Favourite ball in the Sharna sheet. Constant threat tonight, Pauline. Every time she gets the ball, there's danger.
To be fair, if I'm being honest, I think that, you know, that all over the pitch, you know, there's a real raise in standard of these Glasgow City players. So that's a credit to Leanne and obviously what they've discussed post-match on Sunday. But what we would expect from a Glasgow City team also.
Would that have been a reasoned discussion or a hairdryer type?
No comment.
Davidson did it to a howl. Duval! Oh! I just Haaland got lucky at a line. Now that's a cross that you would just want to smack in.
Yeah, it's a fantastic delivery, and we know that Lauren Davison has that at her disposal, and I think it's just she needs to find more consistency and make the more correct decisions in terms of that execution from wide areas.
I think anywhere bar where she put it, that was in the net. It just gave Haaland a chance. Flack out a shot. He is fine. Ashkerli here in Est. Glasgow Gama Corstal. Kaga Kunyoni. Stira Hukiri Tiluk. Maar små skyddes att kunna vanka. Som det spriger stores hacka med hit. That's a big car. När man hick skipper suasara. Som hackar in det. Hela skickas då Duval. Haaland mycket där. Ich gehe dit in die marke maar skippelt det. Just a wee bit of a discussion between Dean Gibson and Hines there, I think, to try and bring her into the game. Or there's the wind catching that one.
I think for me, you know, in that transition to defend, I think, you know, the wide midfielders of Hibs need to try and get narrower if possible, because they're asking Ailey Adams to kind of sit on Maddie Fulton, and then with that you've got space either side of Ellis Notley, which leaves that ball into Lauder, Cusack or Emily Whelan, as we've seen.
So many options. Oh. There here, Chinchilla, Hummel. Gloch Royko Lieher Maha. Glasgow Kojak agus Whelan in het aanhul. Ze hier het 1 minuut. Whelan. Oh, Everson Law, hele shit. I think if we had VAR, we'd be looking at VAR for that one, wouldn't we?
Yeah, I think for me that's a Stonewall penalty there. Our arms are in an unnatural position.
Leher Shahat in Est, Muir. Jachan of Yan agus Merach Shen. Legion Hibs. Kuachel Jimmy Hill. See the Hanil. The Lach get a Humal. Sivian Show Hines. They are close at the Stach. Vicken Yanavian Stoha. Chinchilla. Yeah, Mr. Duval. We couldn't do a howl. Riest Jenna Clark Valalish. Davidson. Drogfas. Hey, guys. Agus a cumala dol. On a vaux yn eistach o'r ymach gyda'r ystod. Well, there are times when Hibs are showing, they just can't do it with any kind of, I don't know, it's sustained pressure, it's in flashes, and it's not going to trouble Glasgow City that much.
Yeah, I think, you know, we know that this Hibs squad have been hit by injuries, and so obviously tonight we've got a lot of players out there that have played a lot of minutes over these last few weeks, and I think that, you know, they want to counter-attack at every opportunity, and that's not sustainable for the full 90 minutes of the game. And I think that maybe on occasions, can they try and take the ball away from pressure, play it out to a full-back and allow them to move up the pitch more as a unit, as opposed to a kind of split team.
I think what Hibs are trying to do now is to have Hines blocking Chinchilla. They've kind of moved her as a half a defender almost to back them up.
Yeah, it looks like if maybe just
pulled her back into the back four now.
Yeah, and put Shannon Leishman one up, and probably to do with maybe the pace that she has and physicality.
Haley Lauder, Skippelhoek. Schoenisch Heinz is Chinchilla shall. Oscarson will do a howl. Oh, Merach. Oamasa. Coramic Hibs. Magloosjes at the ball and Macha Shaw. Teen wasn't a horse chachet. Could you can't come a ski, Marha? Eli Adams toch nog een ulikeleer fit. Isaac en Karotarach gefeen skippen. Could at the mach nog. So wein tanda zo. Caramel at the city. Get the Riech Poppy Lawson. Doing here, you know. Just signs that some of the Hibs players are looking tired already, Pauline.
Yeah, I think, you know, we spoke about it. It's been a very high intensity game, and in those moments that they have in attack, you know, they're swarmed by the Glasgow City counter press, and I think that, you know, Glasgow City in possession are playing with so much intensity that there's barely a minute for them to get breath, and that's why I spoke about, you know, when they do have those opportunities in possession, can they try and utilise the back line to have some sustained possession of the ball?
Chinchilla, Agus Hines, sculpted Hines, Machajo, Stachan of Oxa, Agus Shachat of Chile, Agus, well, Mayeri, and ball has Dechke. Siobhan Hunter of any rash on the cheat. Almost unstoppable, unplayable when she's in this kind of form.
Incredible trickery there, wasn't it? Great manipulation of the ball and very, very direct play, and that probably last touch, Jimmy just gets a little bit away from her, and Siobhan Hunter's able to come over and block, but, you know, such a threat in this the Hibernian backline side.
Oscarsson. Glows a torn as Arvo City. Emily Whelan. Penir Hoshach at Haaland. Rennie Makarire. Ischke voor een hele keuze, Sachenma, Tjurvulje, Chinchilla. Lauren Davidson, Kusirafas.
I'm not sure in that situation if I'm saying that the pass is overhit or if Lauren Davison just doesn't have that awareness and isn't being proactive in that moment.
Yeah. I think it was fairly obvious where Chinchilla was going, and you know, you would expect someone of that quality to anticipate something. Lauder. Muur, here's Chinchilla. Heinz is in the Gihel. Claire Walsh, daar Junzi is het, whom Hivsik Bala, Chinchilla. City to the real league game in echt. Ach, en wil dat G toch gedaan. Emily Whelan. She's G die herweeg gezellig maar nog eens Chinchilla. Last again, but I don't need on the show.
Lapse in concentration, I think, there by Whelan. But I think again, just really good, intricate 1-2 touch play, and they just look the cohesion and the kind of togetherness in terms of their understanding is far superior to what we've seen or what we witnessed on Sunday, Hugh.
Heinz. Galasje hier van just a question on the amount of possession they've got, City. They've got 2 goals. Are they direct enough for all the passing and the fluidity and everything? You know, it's just they're controlling the game, absolutely. And Hibs have no real answer other than just blocking them.
Yeah, I think, you know, I think from Leanne Ross's perspective, she'll be happy that there is much more variation to the game, more intensity, and they're less predictable. But yeah, I guess, you know, goals may be important. So in terms of converting chances, she'll be looking for them to add more to this. If not in the latter stages of this first half, then definitely in the second half. I know we spoke about how good Chinchilla's been this evening, but I think for me as well, you know, having Emily Whelan back in that 9 role, she's pivotal to everything they do in terms of when they play direct into her and link the play and then look to go beyond.
She's certainly more direct, and also just noticing Hayley Lauder's getting a bit frustrated with some of the looser aspects of their play and some of the cheap fouls they're giving away. She certainly wants to see the back of the net a bit more often. Cormac Hibbs a gloch roi ha coic minute in Rakel as a kiad le. Gakanyoni the City. Kiad Harakat Yavach Shefin Hoshach Hibs. Van Koik of Tourist, maar hoe is daar? Had kun je goed blijven. Dus een Hibs Hoes. En dan verder in de koef, dan is het doelpunt. Dan is Quila Davidson. Mooi in je mol. Ja, weer heen. I think Whelan was wanting that back somehow.
Again, it's just that decision making in that final third by Lauren Davidson again. Could she have played early in behind the back line and asked Hibs defenders to try and defend that facing their own goal, which is obviously a very difficult task, but another opportunity for Glasgow City.
Hayley Lauders had the sack. From the corners. Probably my fault. Ilach Gachasavian. Jawel. Vier en die vlucht er een Hibs te gaan. Ons hier goprik, hè. Haaland.
Well defended in the end by Hibernian.
They've been pretty good. The centre back Poppy Lawson, Siobhan Hunter have stuck to it in the middle there. So the real problem has been on the edges, on the wings. Lockwood at Genevieve Eagle. Slagke die is mee aan de paarke. Ach, met de winning garage. She's not really got into the game, Ellie Adams. I think there might have been questions about her fitness.
I think for me, she's been asked to play a different role tonight. A lot of focus on when Glasgow City have possession and what her role is in trying to nullify the ball into to Maddie Fulton in there, and she's putting a lot of energy into that, and then maybe just experience a little bit of tiredness in those kind of in possession moments, and just lacked a little bit of finesse in that last pass that she tried to play into the wide area.
Adam said it, look up. Finish shot. Strie is igen. Nästan till push du. The equivalent of rolling a dice here from Hibs. They're pushing the big centre backs up. Not so sure that a high ball is the best tactic to play against City.
No, not with the height of Jenna Clark and Claire Walsh in there, but
there you go.
We may be proved wrong, but not on this occasion.
So over the piece then, Pauline, the right score, but maybe just not really a reflection of City's dominance and the improvement from the weekend.
Yeah, I think definitely a far better start to the game than we saw on Sunday, and like we say, significant changes in patterns of play, link-up play in the fight in the opponent's half, and real desire to impact the game, but probably from Leanne Ross's perspective, yet not clinical enough for this Glasgow City team, and I think that's be something that they discuss at half-time. I don't think you can fault the effort,
no.
And you can definitely see that they've taken motivation from Rangers dropping points on Sunday also.
Carmilla Haaland, oh, Macarena for Haaland. There's a confident keeper for you. Men Nashi stay up. Gaharin she is. Is a right to it. Callum Haswell. Irkuj na Horsko Krieg. Ik liha Schlia is a game show. Ik Muloch Park Motor Group. Priav League Nimban. Glasgow City Hoshach Ga Kunyoni. Kojak leis hier tol sonors en Emily Whelan aan de 40 minute Kur City Hoshach us gemaakt kans dat Leanne Ross aan de hen. Dat was Jack is speaking matter Nasriya na bhair Jerry Gach and Dean Gibson Kishan Kilo and Wachanya was on the darn le Shovana Hajinik Leah Sliamaha Glasgow City Aga Hibs Nyoni.
Well, Glasgow City, Bunyik Agaka Nyoni and a Hibernian Eichli actually. Well, Shanadish Aking, a Jew hashing at all clean, Shown Vanager Hibernian, Aga Shown the coach at Glasgow City, Agus Hadriak, Imach Club, Illa Harn of Bleanik and Kuchach, I was hooshing a fach late for Hune the village. Shogave Maha, Grant Scott.
Where did it all start for you? How did you get into coaching?
Initially, I stepped in to help at my daughter's team, believe it or not. Coach left and there was no one else to do it, so I volunteered for 2 or 3 weeks. And a number of years later, we're still here. So that was my initial, was helping out just as a dad. And at that point, I got a little bug for it. I thought I had something to offer. Enjoyed the experience of being with a group and developing players. Listen, there's great moments when you see players you've worked with going on to achieve great things, and you've only added your tiny little component of possibly one thing you've said to them that might have stuck with them, and it's helped them on their journey. And when you see them play for a top club or in a big competition or for the national side, that's really, really rewarding.
And looking back at your career so far, what's been your career highlight?
I think the success we had at Hibs is right up there. Kev left in the March, and I was asked to take the team on an interim basis, which we did, and I think the job was then open to the public. It was an applied role. And I hesitated before taking it, and I had that confidence and self-doubt issue, not sure that it was the right role for me or it was the right time. But during the interim charge period, I felt that I'd got the group immediately on side. We had 2 or 3 terrific results, I was put my interest in and was given the role, which was great. But yeah, I think it was possibly my second match in official role. We had the League Cup final, which was obviously went on to then be a memorable performance for sure from the players, and a day that probably they won't forget either. Obviously you enjoy the moment, and take nothing away from the players, but I felt at the time and soon after that the reality was it was it was a bit of a freak result, in all honesty. I seem to remember there was an OG in there, I think, from Celtic in the first 2 or 3 goals. We got a penalty that looked a little bit soft, and before you know it, it was 3-0, and we were cruising, never going to lose from that position. The fact that it went on to be, semi-ridiculous, everything we hit that day hit the net, and on another day that doesn't happen. So, the reality was we were quite fortunate to be well up in the match so early on. When that side was in full flow, you just left it be. They were so good, the players were so good.
That season, the 2018 season, was almost a fairy tale season. You came within a match against Glasgow City of potentially ending their dominance. How do you look back on that now?
Yeah, well, thanks for reminding me. It is now, it was then, and I think always will be the one that got away for me, and for that group of players. We thought we were the best team in the league that year. We felt we were playing the best football, and we let ourselves down, I think, in that one match. And I think that's collectively myself. There's moments I look back in the game where I possibly could have changed the instruction or changed the dynamic of what we were doing. But we were in that game with every chance, gone behind, got ourselves back in and lost the goal immediately. Just, your stereotypical, you're at risk once you've scored kind of thing. But, City were an incredible side at the same time. Obviously Scott as the manager, great manager. So they were always a threat, but we just felt that we probably didn't maximise our chances in that game. Whether it was a bit of nervousness, a bit of lack of composure, just I couldn't put my finger on it, and I still can't.
Glasgow City versus Hibernian at Tynecastle. What was your memories of that game?
Do you know, again, obviously there's massive disappointment in that, but that was two teams, the two best teams in the country, going at it, hell for leather. And what a spectacle that must have been for the neutral. We showed once again at Hibs how, there was no fear ever in those games, and we were a proper footballing side and wanted to take the game to our opponent, whoever they might have been. There was no thoughts from us that day of, well, City have been really good, we'll try and nick it, or we'll try and counter-attack on them. It was, again, the way I would like the game to be, and what a spectacle it was in the end. I'm still proud to have been in that game and watched what was then my Hibs team do so well.
Well, that's it. That was your last match for Hibs. What was behind your reasons for leaving?
So those were mixed, I have to say, none football related. At the time I had my own business in Edinburgh that I owned with my brother. I'd put a lot of time and energy into Hibs back then, and I didn't think I could do it to, in my view, the level required again. By that time, it wasn't going to be a full-time model at Hibs anytime soon. I had to commit to my family and business at that point. So, it was disappointing that I had to do it, but everyone understood and we left on the best of terms, and that's how it is. So.
And then surprisingly, your next role is assistant to Scott Booth at Glasgow City? Yeah,
that was a quite a shock when I spoke to Scott. He's been around the game for so long and had a couple of different people helping him certainly, but I didn't feel that he'd ever kind of run with an assistant as such, and I thought the opportunity to work at Glasgow City with Scott at the time was one I probably just couldn't refuse. It was almost like going to Hibs as assistant with Kev. I thought it was a great move for me. And it gave me a bit of flexibility because I was able to then stress to Scott about my work-life commitment. So I have to say Scott and Glasgow City were very accommodating of me at the time. So it gave me the best of both worlds. I was back in the game, I didn't have to lead, so I could get away with a few less hours put in and stuff. So yeah, it worked for me at the time, and I was grateful to Scott back then.
Your next role then is interim head coach manager at Glasgow City.
Yeah.
Again, probably surprising for those on the outside, just the way that it was done and announced. For you, I assume it was clear from the get-go, but what was the approach like for you to take that role on?
Yeah, so we initially spoke to Laura Montgomery, who was very open and honest, and I've said that to a number of people. We had a chat and she offered me the position for a set period of time. There was no promises of anything else other than that. Obviously I knew before the mass public about Eileen, it was all done and dusted. So there was no, I dreamt then at the time that I would stay at City and they would find a way to fit me in. But that was me in dreamland, from categorically from the club side. It was all just how it was going to be. I thoroughly enjoyed my time there. Enjoyed working with the staff group there. Leanne Ross was there at the time. She'd just retired, so it was early in her kind of coaching time with City. But we had a great time. Left there undefeated, with the exception of the European knockout match. So hopefully did as well as I could for them. I felt I did. Committed to it massively.
So after you move on from City, your next role is St Johnstone.
Obviously that time it was a part-time amateur on the football side, so they dual rolled it with a little bit of work internally for the football club, so I was there full-time. to be fair to St Johnstone, I thought at that point there was a lot of local chat that they hadn't really backed the women's team that well, but from that point on, I've got to say they gave me everything I asked for, and it's not necessarily always finance and stuff. It's the support mechanisms, the use of certain facilities or certain people, and yeah, I just had to make some plans, show what I wanted to do, and they backed it all the way. So in my short time there, the club went on to perform certainly better on the pitch, and I don't think that's a fluke, and it's not really anything to do with the coach. Sometimes it's just to do with the structure and the environment you're creating for them. But it certainly improved in my time.
And your next role was a chance to coach in England?
Yeah, and I think that's really that was the main factor for me choosing to do it over staying at St Johnstone, was that it was a massive challenge and a new environment. Yeah, it was unfortunate for St Johnstone because the timing was, it just meant I wasn't there for long, but I felt it was another opportunity I just couldn't refuse, to be honest. Yeah, really exciting, really challenging. I think that the standard down there is, a lot stronger at the minute than what we have here, and I'd probably align it to, probably the top sides in our league. Top 3 or 4 sides would go into the championship and compete. Pitching your own team against Super League teams in the League Cup. They have a group section in that, the Continental Cup. That was really challenging and interesting to see how we did against those sides, and we, to be fair, did pretty well. So yeah, it was a great challenge and brilliant experience. Disappointed not to be there, but yeah, I'll take a lot of things away. It's another full-time professional environment that I've now been in, which was slightly different from the one before, good and bad.
Yeah, so what is next for you, and what else would you like to achieve in your coaching career?
I think building another team that's capable of competing at the highest level in that league, wherever that may be. You want to get back to winning trophies and stuff like that. So, but yeah, still got the appetite, still got the hunger, still got the belief that I can impact somewhere. So yeah, hopefully I'm not out for too long.
Grant Scott, ag ddiolch slia agus sinnach of Grant an the hiohe in the cant of daskipa as a rais as agus arish mar huel fjuganart gifford oprichen. Well, Pauline, let's have a look at the 2 goals that we've had. Despite all the possession, we keep saying there's maybe not as much as we would have hoped in terms of goals, but when they came, they were good ones. Yep,
they definitely were. Really good build-up play by Glasgow City down that left-hand side, and like we spoke about, Kozak, really technical player, executes the first one, which is well blocked by Hines, but fantastic execution on the second, and just doesn't give Highland a chance at all.
Quick thinking, top skills, out of the top drawer, good goal. Next one. Bit of variety in what City are doing tonight as well. Yeah,
definitely, and it's really good quick thinking. It's obviously something they've taken from the training ground, and like I said, I thought she'd maybe just underhit it ever so slightly, but Whelan does fantastically well to get enough on that and direct it into the far side netting.
And she's been a significant addition to the team from the weekend in terms of upping the pace and causing trouble, and just general all-round contribution to the game.
Yeah, absolutely. She's a leader, and her work rate in terms of the way that she sets the press or looks to defend for her team from the front, to, like you say, linking the player, being that target for them to then play up, back and through, off. I just think that she's been one of the key differences in the performance of Glasgow City in comparison to Sunday.
And while like Hibs, City and the Orange for the live clee, and now in the you ganesht is darn a lay. Eiche, gaan in Poelig erg gelijk Peter Sil, ach tje eiche. Get the very proper I can shit in the gear gu van een jaar. to me Kenya could do a City Chachgarach. Leanne Ross Tullig Huel, ik wil de stij. Oscarson, een prijs van laf. Nu is het komen het al. Zoals met Davidson, nog Mau, Heier Salen. Oscarson's been I mean, she does what she does. She's got a great engine up and down the right-hand side. They were missing a bit of that on Sunday.
Yeah, quite possibly. I think that, you know, for me, they're attacking much more as a team this evening. I want to get more numbers up in support of the ball as well. But yeah, that's definitely something that she brings, and she's comfortable progressing the ball from that fullback position.
Haley Lauder a pucht eerst. Right it up. Callum Haswell. How long do you think Leanne Ross would give it before she gives it a wee bit of a shake, just to to get mileage in the legs of the other players for the run in, and B, to add to the tally?
Yeah, I think for me probably around that 60-minute mark, to be honest, because I think she will want to add more goals to the performance that they've put on this evening. And as much as they've had the majority of possession, I think, you know, on some of the occasions, the balls that have been put on the goal face have been directly at Haaland, who's dealt with them well. But yeah, decision making and probably final execution, something that will be a key focus for Glasgow City this second half.
Hibs is nog zijn er doen houdt je over alles toe. Toch een pik en trouw. Chinchilla up her crew. Haley Lauder.
Fantastic recovery work there by Princia Chinchilla, and I think that's, you know, what Leanne Ross would want to see from her players.
Hunger
and desire, both in and out of possession.
Hibs if you had the Glasgow heen. This is Hibs taking off at the same sort of speed and commitment they did early on, but they can't keep it going, we know that. But if they could get a goal, it might be very interesting.
It very might well be.
Nu is hem weer zijn keel. Is het 3 uur ze wil laat. Hebben ze een eerste tien.
A bit of uncertainty there in the Glasgow City back line, and they put themselves under a little bit of pressure.
Unnecessary pressure.
Yeah, that's the word I was looking for, thank you.
Kozak en eerste van ja, keer mij de verder. Haley Lauder de tune, er zijn rood in kleur rechtje. The message from the bench is no more to Lee Gibson. 2 words, no more. I think we know why. Shall Asta. Oh, the Haley Lauder a Roy train. Ach, the Hibs, Jason at a hunt.
Great piece of play by Chinchilla again. I'm not sure if Haley Lauder needs to just hang a little bit further back in that moment, or it's maybe good positioning by Hibs defensively.
That's what happens when you've played 200 times, you get ahead of yourself. She's got to get a goal tonight, she's got to get a goal. Just to top the story off. Hines. Strieri. Chinchilla. Hummel voor Glasja. En we zijn nog gevoerste. Cornish Caramella Hibs. Again, this Mishnachel. It's not a bad opening to the second half for Hibs, and coaching staff had a go at Lee Gibson again for her distribution, what they want her to do.
Yeah, I think they're probably looking, you know, given the situation of the wind as well, Hugh, that maybe the better option is to actually just, you know, get the team up the pitch and look to kick long and then try and win the first and the second ball further away from their own goal. But I suppose everybody can take lessons out of the weekend's game, you know, Rangers versus Hearts. Hibs get a goal and they're potentially back in this fixture.
And they're using the wind. They're using it significantly. They're using long balls, crossfield balls. Stjachla, Gibson, Jishal Kajor, Tokal Kist. Message delivered. Gibson fats voor niet zit, nou in de Heinz go for toes Northern Hibs die dat ook al gaan gaan. Misschien kan je hem de sasse en niet meer. Hoe is het die eerst? See that a good kist in their city. Oh, Richard Trainers, Jack in the box. Oh! Yeah, their tactics are working in the sense that they're posing questions. I put it no more than that.
Good play there by Shannon Leishman. Good defender in the end by, I think it's Jenna Clark. But again, putting pressure on that Glasgow City back line and asking questions of them.
Penny Shallow. Going to count it. Gibson and then is Dual City. Good Alistair, Kozars, Janimis, City Coast. Flacca Dollar Dela. Pauline, we've spoken about goals and so on. Look at the goal difference table there. Just as a matter of fact, Rangers and City are now level on goal difference. That's all I'm saying. So, you know, where if a match turns on a point here or there and it comes back to goal difference, they are currently level on goal difference as it stands right now.
Yeah, and that's, you know, with how competitive this league now is, it's the fine details and the fine margins that are important, and I'm sure that Leanne Ross would have spoken about that after Sunday's match and today also coming into the second half.
And the important other figure there is Celtic's tally of 99, so they are 7 goals to the good. Tomorrow's game is massive, Celtic and Rangers.
It certainly is.
Als je 10 minuten is tegen de daarna, niet. Vaak komt een gloeisjes de box. Just the next wee bit of nudging going on in the box there. Oof. Katie Lockwood. Leanne Rosser in hem Ik oorn paarken ist. Kohar ik wil. Dus een je immer kun je vachtel kerst. De vriestet Hibs haast. Was the dig with the wind?
Yeah, it was. I think, you know, that the final connection on the ball there from Nunn probably wasn't what she wanted. But yeah, like you say, with the wind, definitely worth a dig and definitely a better start to the second half than we maybe would have expected from the Hibernian side.
The only thing I would say is it would have to be very good to beat Lee Gibson from that kind of range. Always worth a go. Zoekt het Jenema, is er weer aan. Manager na halve. Kommer Suler Kusen. City Fudge nach Gilor Isachga am I smoonie who did ik Hibs go ire, maar hij hit the game of the worst.
Just lost a bit of composure for me in their play,
Yeah.
Glasgow City, and maybe sometimes, you know, there's options to kind of maybe come out the other side and keep the ball on the ground. I think the more they put it in the air, the more opportunity there is for Hibs in this game, because the wind is definitely affecting the flight of the ball, and it's more likely to come back onto top of Glasgow City.
Ryan's got goede steeds. Het is er vaak in de City draast de voorsprong heen. En ja, we pikken de sklees de Nashen. Hele Loda. De prijsje van de goal had Davidson dan de jaar gegeven. Gaat er naar de Hibser. Kloos het te maken. Oscarson. Loda. Oh, skill van de skipper. Amy Muir. Hibs de eerste puntje jongens hier. Dat is een skill like zo is. Hibs are doing their best, and I think it's a wise tactic just to slow the game down when the ball goes out of play and compose themselves, get their shape back.
Yeah, I think time management is very, very important. Yeah, as much as they wanted to get the game moving and try and get themselves a goal and get back into the game, they have to be realistic in terms of, you know, how often and when they can exert those kind of high intensity moments.
Oscarson. Dårlig Klungen. Oh, Kozaks, Gunja. Haley Loda, Djurval, Davidson.
Fantastic piece of play by Kozak there.
Jachla. Oh, the box, Whelan. Oh, Ganalin. Acheredu Vela. Bit better, bit more incisive.
Yeah, it was. I think the ball out to Lauren Davison was the right one, but like we say, yeah, really good piece of play by Kozak, and good ball out there to Lauren Davison. But can she, for me, she slows it down. Can she keep it moving? Can she find that space to actually drive at the fullback and put her under far much more pressure?
Yeah, because the pressure came after the mistake.
Yep.
She just capitalised on it. Still no movement on the Glasgow City bench, but we're 20 seconds short of your. Oh!
Well read by Lee Gibson there. Good pressure from Lockwood as well, and she's worked hard for this Hibernian side this evening.
Harry mag. Lozen in iemand die zich bij slag. Lechebaal ging wat Chinchilla stijgen. Whelan. Haley Loader. Lozen Davidson. Sluit achter zijn mouw. De pace the pace dropped off there as soon as it reached Davidson, I have to say.
Yeah, I think it's a fantastic piece of play and recovery defending by Chinchilla that actually starts the move off. But like you say, the ball goes out into that wide area, and for me again, just Lauren Davison, can she take that touch inside and step past it and across the fullback?
Alice Dice. Mor an tennis a sheet a fed they're going to clear in the old shears, clear Hibs. A brave challenge there. I think it's
Leah Tweedy, sorry. Yep.
Oh, she looks tired, I have to say.
We mentioned it at the top of the show, I think first start for Hibernian, you know, since her return from Queen's Park, and you know, it's been a very, very intense game this evening, so I think that potentially we'll start to see that tell on Leah.
Well, looks good though, all fine. Kema Shachat in the moor he Janesh Tigus. Come Sul at Bain Glasgow and Leon Ross at the Gulamachi Gu Gary the East on the Father Hibs. Loda Duval. Here Heinz Hume that you show. Emily Whelan. Darna Coram. Chinchilla. Stay Achadish Haaland. That's about, what, 6-7 times they've gone directly and they've virtually picked Haaland out.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, it just comes down to those fine details and fine margins, doesn't it? And just trying to maybe take a little bit more off the shot and kind of look for a little bit more placement.
Finished at the Clachunagayu. Wind's got up again as well, and that's helping Hibs, I have to say. It's easier to clear their lines. It's that simple. Takes the pressure off them.
Yeah, it definitely does. I think obviously, like you say, using it to their advantage. But I think, you know, in terms of what Dean Gibson spoke to his team about at half-time, I think he'll be fairly comfortable with the shift that they put in so far this second half. And it's not to say that they didn't do well in spells, in the first half, but you know, just probably lacked that little bit of quality when they had possession.
There's a City tune now. Davidson a díosca foul. Ball fata. Heinz at Suas. En die Kalema staat er weer. Nesta Karamachke. Jack in de boxen. Die is de naast in. And that all stemmed from Davidson stumbling on the ball just below us here, and the whole thing turned the other way.
Yeah, and again, it just comes down to, you know, moments of concentration and ensuring that you stay focused and aware throughout the whole game, or that's just sort of situations you can see go against you.
This has to go for it. Oh, fantastic! Hey ho! Did I not say it's worth a pop with the wind?
Yeah, definitely, and we know that, you know, Siobhan Hunter certainly has that in her locker. What an incredible effort, and fair play to Lee Gibson.
Yeah.
Yep, she keeps her eye on it and she gets a hand on it.
Again, anything other than straight, you know, it's bang on. So you would expect the keeper to save from that distance, given it was right down the middle of the goal, but boom. As soon as it took off, I thought, And, you know, an incident like that can give a team a massive lift. I mean, it's worth more than 20 minutes of effort. They just think, hey, we can do this.
Yeah, definitely. And I think that The second half performance has given Hibernian a lift also. They've definitely had more possession of the ball and been able to nullify the strengths of Glasgow City that were evident in the first half.
John Ball fatter is Hines as a UE. And I've lost count of the number of times City have put the ball off the field, which is not their style.
I think maybe Hibernian playing with a little bit more confidence and freedom as well.
Yeah. Chia Kata. Woof. I think Lee Gibson's bar is still rattling. Oscarson. Duval Treach, Davidson, Harren Machas. Chia Karameki Ruyanoi Hines in Est. Chase of Eske. Haley Lauder, Stachan of Oxa. Tuned out, Warok Kutkinella. Oh, I should have fatter ours. You must be looking at Leanne Ross making a change pretty soon, Pauline.
Yeah, I would say so. I think, body language looks a little bit frustrated about the way things are going. And yeah, like you say, she does have the choices. I think they've got seven potentially players on the bench this evening. So we might see potentially maybe a young Lisa Forrest coming onto the pitch at some point.
Ja, alles daar is er. Daarnaast de Celtic. We gaan ik City. We gaan ik raak. Ik wil terug van Shakhtar als het hier zijn. Jonest. Jullie Lauder had Davidson aan de jola heen. Chinchilla de duwelle. Chinchilla rooi in je wegje. Chinchilla het al jaren gestjach in de boksen. Chandler het hul. Emily Whelan. August Davidson. Davidson het al shears. Dit een gelaat. Hubske in je val af. Er is een Tweedy. Zal maar een goed mee krijgen met. It's a great play from Tweedy there. She was in a hiding to nothing, but she still managed to hold it and get it away.
And potentially one of the strengths of Leah Tweedy, but you can see that the Glasgow City bench, there's a lot of frustration here, and Hibernian taking a lot of confidence and positivity from the way that they've played so far.
You know, you take a look at the body language around there just now, Pauline. It's the Glasgow City players, almost all of them, who are hands on hips. They're down in it. Look at that. I haven't seen that for ages. Yeah. Honestly, they're having to work their socks off just now to keep Hibs at bay.
They absolutely are, and I think if we reflect back to some of the post-match interviews that Leanne Ross had, you know, in the week that they obviously took the 3 defeats, she spoke about, you know, accountability, she spoke about individual errors, and for me that's what we're seeing there. That last attack was a 4v3 on goal, and the final pass into the wide area then slowed the progress of that counter-attack, and it's moments like these that can cost you.
Some self-medication going on here. Kate de Oorst, Parks Motor Group, Prevlegende Baan, Partick Thistle naar Celtic, Shen Wan Sapet, the eerste game, hier game ik Mialwa, the eerste is nu Narpish, Glasgow City en Hearts. Dus een game Shen ik Kihiroer en Ugus Mabis at Hama, die is de game hoe Shen Wan Sapet. Smash hier gewie op de channel, die is television. Just while this is going to take a while to sort out, worth having another look at the goals. Seems like ages ago.
It certainly does.
That was a well taken goal at the end of the day. But I really like this one because there was it looks there's more to it than you know. It wasn't that simple.
There's a lot of finesse. There's a lot of finesse about it,
Yeah.
and it is a very elegant finish, shall we say?
Hayley Lauder, Chinyanul. Now is Hayley coming off, or is she coming over for a conflab?
Maybe just to relay some information. I think I heard Maddie Fulton's name mentioned there, so
Yeah.
maybe a forced change at this point of the game for Leanne Ross.
Yeah. But it gives both sides a spell to settle themselves and get the shape back. With 20 minutes, an interesting 20 minutes left here.
Yeah, it definitely is, because we can see that the momentum has shifted, and Hibernian look very much re-energised from the performance, the second half performance that they've been able to give, and also maybe from from Siobhan Hunter's effort just a few minutes ago.
Frades is Forrest.
And I think it's Davison
yeah.
also.
I have to say I'm not surprised at that.
Yeah, I think for me, Lauren Davison just not showing enough consistency and the key aspects of the game in that final third, you know, in terms of decision making on the cross from wide areas, final execution, and just maybe all round game this evening. Just not been her day.
So Forrest offers something different again, doesn't she?
Yeah, she does, and she'll balance things and play very much a like for like in terms of the role that Maddie Fulton played.
Next, Hibs. Doer at Anna Lahar in your sheet.
Another good pattern of play there, and I think for me, just Hines needs to realise just to take a little bit off the pace of that, because the ball is definitely moving much quicker for them this second half.
I think she's stuck at Chinchilla very well on the far side there. She's kind of closed that hole.
Yeah, it's not an easy shift, and you'll not nullify it completely, because she's got great movement, and it's extremely difficult to stop once she possesses the ball and is running towards you. But yeah, like you say, it's definitely been a positive tactical move by Dean Gibson in that first half.
And Cliff game Kunnerstach a shot. Rinne merach gwam was a geschiedje man Gila sta Rinne nars de goelekal hippie her shachet. Well, that's what goalkeepers do.
I have to say that we spoke about it earlier, but you know, it's a mistake by Halland. We know that, but she stays big, she narrows the angle, and she does particularly well.
And uses her feet. It's twice she's done that, but
and keeps the belief in this Hibernian side going.
And it frustrates City, you know. You hate to see a goalkeeper who's saving everything one way or the other. Jonesh Karamela Gikitas and Diest. Huilan Brakke in the sheet to do this out. Hips are fast down, the floors at the Rui. She is in a live please, Jack in the boxer. Oh, wat balmaak, wat hier is je vegenwers hesat. Karamela. Siobhan Hunter is goede hoes. Is de boxer. Oh, Siobhan Hunter! Siobhan Hunter. Now that was a very brave piece of play. She started it and she finished it, and she covered about 60, 70 yards to do it.
Yep, it definitely was. Like you say, steps out and obviously plays the ball out into the wide area there, and then decides to go and support, and Nundas really well, keeps it alive. I actually wasn't sure if it was a wasted opportunity with the ball in with Parry, but the second phase and the reaction from Siobhan Hunter, we know that she's got that in her locker, and it's game on.
She never even looked. She knew exactly what she was doing. I thought she was going to like fly about 30 yards out. I thought she's going to do it again, but well, again they're tuned out. Glasgow City 2. Yeah, Hibs hun.
Really good piece of play by Katie Lockwood there, wasn't it?
You know, I think it's no more than they deserve.
No, I would absolutely
to get a goal
agree.
back.
I would absolutely agree. Probably have edged it in terms of being the better teams this second half. Definitely shown a lot more belief as well.
Yeah. Chantal City. Een wacht, Leo Sliers nog een lach geneest. Get a hat er Hoshach. Vind ik wil het. Kom maar. Course dan aan de dooi. Hier show met haar. Hibs geboekt de garage. Flack up and do the shot. It's even just the numbers there falling. There's 5 Hibs players in the top third.
Yeah, definitely more supporting numbers than we've seen in the first half, and really good piece of defensive play there by Ellis Notley, realising that Hines has been slightly caught out of position and just drops into that back line.
Warrington Engineer, the City. Amy Muir, I think Amy Muir took a knock on the far side there.
Same time as Maddie Fulton, yep.
Yeah, so that's maybe more injury than anything else, but it's versatility for you. She was right back on Sunday, left back right now. Warrington.
Probably experienced more time at left back during her time at Celtic, if I'm honest. But yeah, a right-footed player, but can definitely fill in quite happily on that opposite side.
Here's Chibs doing a Dorish. It was a glock, the Tosh of Uguruyanest. Wanna do the how? No, in the queue. Ik asked that Haaland.
Another great piece of play by Haaland, and it just brings so much confidence to your team. You know, so brave, so confident in our movement there to come and take the ball and relieve the pressure off
quick
the
delivery,
back line.
which is City scurrying backwards. Oscarson, who was it? Emily Whelan. He should have been savage as Darna Lee Kujach. Oscarson, Chalmer had it. City can go to Ash Fatnahoon, yeah. Hines at the east.
I think for me there, Leah Tweedy, she does well to try and step out and put pressure on Walsh, but for me, just try and keep it to one side. Don't overcommit. You don't have to win the first ball.
Joelle Murray is one of my co-commentators on occasion. Kicking every ball, no doubt. Steph Duval. Kozak. Oh, yeah. Haley Miller. Haley's Lauder. Haley Miller, Kutiginela. Oh! 2 chances at that one.
Yeah, and it was better from Glasgow City there. Obviously from Lisa Forrest on this far side through Kozak across the pitch, and if you want it to fall to anybody on the left foot, it's Haley Lauder, but again, just a little bit lack of composure, leans back on it, and again we see the final execution fail to hit the target.
Lauder at the east. Junzi through. The win here for Glasgow City is absolutely everything. I mean, you can do all the stats you want, but at the end of the day, they have to win this match. That has to be their focus.
Yeah, absolutely.
And they can't afford to
then
concede
again,
another goal. It's as simple as that.
Nah, I think they then, you know, hand momentum back to Celtic and Rangers ahead of tomorrow night's game. And I think that, you know, given the first half performance, to let this one go would be, yeah, extremely damaging to their title hopes and potentially even that second place spot.
You have a feeling this is a beautiful touch from Whelan. But again, good defence, forcing them out. One Shan Maha, Shofferville City, Coonerstock, Coombsula, Jenna Clark, Claire Walsh. Oh, Haaland it is. Yeah. He's just a carnivality and he's next Turs Coram Gaif Setliku. She didn't do too well with the first effort, but fair play. Her positional sense is excellent.
Yeah,
excellent.
she's done very, very well tonight, and she's definitely been one of the reasons that the scoreline is what it is, and this game still remains one to be contested.
Achriginella Shaw. Leah Tweedy, Etienne. There's Noor Etienne. Noor Mustafa. Well, I think she's done well, Tweedy, hasn't she?
Yeah, she definitely has. Like you say, for a first start to play 82 minutes in a game that's been, you know, extremely intense. And I think she's, you know, in the moments that the ball's been played up to her, she's held it up well and tried to link the play as best she could.
Joe Lovachian. The Minachin Mayeru. Kilashin Anesh Kavilshin Och. Karst Cannon. Card for Nutley.
I don't think there's any malice there. Ellis Nutley's not that type of player.
It's a tired challenge in a way as well.
It is, and I think that, you know, we know that Chinchilla is so fast and can manipulate the ball and change the direction of it so effectively in those moments.
Yeah. And her movement lends itself to her flying over the leg like that. I'm not making any untoward suggestion at all, other than it's just the way she flies at a player like that.
Yeah, it's the momentum, isn't it?
Any contact is going to catapult you over the leg. Haley, Lauder to Liachan Chile, Kumsuler Haaland, de Boergeljacht in Huil, Kali Tolkahur. Theater, Lehibs, who's Flacker, but Flacker, there was half a flag down here.
I thought I'd seen that as well.
Yeah, half a flag, it went up and it was taken down. And that could be controversial eventually. Strijlig is er ook zo.
Listen to me. You're taking the mic. Of course it is. If you're your decision.
Shows you what's at stake, Pauline.
Yeah, definitely.
She'll hit a line. They're all in the line. Oh, well, she is the D. Zit de lucht er in City, er al she is the shit. De eerst. Koik minuten. Iraka. 5 minutes, Pauline. They're all at the penalty spot now. Jack yn y bocs falaflu Hibs gyda. Agus yn Orson. Mach yn Nimmel. Fair play to Hibs. Defensively, outstanding effort.
Nah, they have, like you say, and I think, you know, they've been put under some big pressure moments from set plays from Glasgow City in these latter stages, but I think now you can see that maybe they're
Big
just trying
hand,
to...
sorry to interrupt you there, big hand for Hayley Lauder coming off and Joe Love coming on. Joe Love if ein bang the skipper. Ceir Minachin. Nes tynnu le dyn of cael y hyf bwy I gêm. Mae gan y sem o'r so. Ach, good question. Hibs y gyr I fwyl yn y caffeg. Hibs. Tyn y ddyrst. Past. City is 3 years van een van laaf. Stjach in de boksen. Die dat gegeetje huger van laaf. Nog een soos in de boksen. Zo huger cool. Zit de goeie er in City. Is de running up Frischig Chinchilla Zevian. Hier van Alish. Nachher in Nimmel Chinchilla staat Zevian het eerst. Heinz zit in de steeg en Evian, ik zit in een kiende. Draai van uit. Joe Lovis, 3 sappers. Oh, het is. Kozak, het chase SWPL up. Well.
It's a very frantic finish to this game, Hugh Dan.
They're all screaming and bawling. What a finish.
Yeah, and credit to Hibernian for really bringing the energy to this second half and getting themselves back in the game.
I'm surprised the referee didn't show a yellow card there, to be honest. It's just one of those things. Davina Chiracal, Nurinta Hibs, Ruterain Hart, Rangers, Yanniv, Parry, Steigen Evian, Siobhan Hunter. Siobhan Hunter de voedig zoals het eerst. Stjach in de boksen. Parry. Parry het eerst. Caramilla. Oh! Oh! That came off Lockwood's head and she was standing on the goal line. But I think there's a flag falling after all of that.
I think that maybe saves her, but listen, you know.
Incredible.
Yeah, incredible desire and just real absolute Hibernian are relentless to try and get something from this game this evening. Yeah, you can see that the
flag was up this time. We've got the flag. So injury. Yeah, now if the ball had gone in and she hadn't touched it, she's not interfering with play, is she? Technically offside?
Technically offside and maybe in that.
Oh. Oh. It's one to debate later.
Definitely is.
Next, City. City. Whelan. Whelan. Diana Veronosha. Diana Veronosha. Oh, Slicky Macha, Kujach. Nee, Hibs. Ceir Minachin ille. Ceir Minachin Navarro. Gyda siogol da hwf, flygyda'r Hibs yr ygol Shias, yr y gors da hw. Kriechblach an Urin Kumel at all. Shannon Leishman a hound. Ellis not late either. Charles Sparn, you had to go down. Leishman's down. Well, you have to say that, you know, as an advert for the Park Motor Group Premier League, you know, to be competitive, they might be in 5th place, but City are not guaranteed to win this at any point just now.
No, definitely not. And I think, you know, given how much possession Glasgow City had in the first half, it just shows you that you just don't know. You need more. You need more just to ensure that you see the game out when you do have that momentum and those possessional stats. And it's not the second half that we expected, Dan, but it's been extremely competitive and very exciting.
Pauline, while you're there, I know you've deliberated long and hard on this because there's been a few candidates for your Player of the Match award. Who are you going to go for? Yeah,
there definitely has. I think, you know, very good individual performances on both sides for me. Haaland for Hibernian and Chinchilla also for Glasgow City. But I think for me, in terms of the way that City played in the first half, I think that Emily Whelan was really important within that role. You know, they were able to go direct into her and play off her, and the work that she also does out of possession. So for me, tonight's Player of the Match is Emily Whelan.
Good choice. Sargelige er again, Emily Whelan. Are we hun Diek. Hibsenist. Steel Gerurst. Kumel all. Lee Gibson. Davina Chiraka. Davina Chiraka. Ivo Rilla. Stoche got him a Yerig. Tuv Shaktuv. Heinz, it's in the stjach. De eerste bal, Fata Shaw, Fiach City. Dus Kahia te gullet in je hang, de roorst. Kati wil Siobhan Hunter. Oh, here we go, Car. Leanne Ross, some more line, yep. Gan Gorn, chu. Sin as a bhíneid fiéire chanin se gan na céhéir a chaig gealtain. Nes de frisige vil tjúndang na tunne vil an. Fiachan Janoshan Kiche Stjachan a gloch. Glychgiljór an nún dóiach. Send it a goal to Hibs. Leanne Ross Griachal. This has got to be it, Pauline. The last throw of the dice.
Yeah, it's been a very tentative final 4 minutes or so for Glasgow City to try and ensure that they ride the storm and take all 3 points.
Sydd ych ydyn nhw'n cyn diolch gyda ti arall. Femi sio chwch o fat y swrni. Haaland. Skis y tîn am y gas yn Hibs. Na dydych dolian am cyn diolch y bwynig at y gêm. City hanyl y doliach yn cwsar rhan tŵl leilach hanyn. Dydych y rwy y gloch. Heinz garasig i'r falaf. A Callum Haswell tyn y stair y hwys agos a ffwch y hias bain Glasgow City. Tamach go i'r fôr Hibs ach y diwy sien. Y diwy sien na rhainat na chwrdd dis y gêm. sorry to Pauline. A lot of relief down to our right-hand side here on the Glasgow City bench. Pleased with the effort the Hibs made. What great credit to them for their effort, particularly in the second half. A wonderful game, really.
Yeah, it was, and like we sometimes say, very much a game of two halves, and probably disappointing from Leanne Rios's perspective to have so much dominance in possession, but the end result to be so close and tentative in certain moments of that second half. But like you say, incredible performance by Hibernian in the second half.
Let's see with the Hunter goal. Well worth a look, because it was the big spark that gave Hibs hope.
Yeah, it's good build-up play out to the wide area, and Nunn obviously then just keeps it alive. I didn't think the angle was great for Parry there, but to be fair, Siobhan Hunter, second phase, and makes no mistake. And
there was this is the what if. Oh, sorry, that was the rerun. This is the what if, I think, is it? No, still, it was that good, we're seeing it 3 times. This is the one, this is the slightly unusual. It ended up in the net. She put it, well, it didn't end up in the net, she ended up in the net, but she managed to put it over the bar. Quite an amazing passage of play.
Certainly unfortunate for Katie Lockwood there, wasn't it? But yeah, for Hibernian just not to be in the end. But you know, given the injuries they had and the players they had at their available tonight, I think it was a great effort.
Sias go Michael Maha agus sarchlach at the game, Emily Whelan.
3 points, job done. Are you happy with that?
Yeah, delighted. I'm relieved with that, because obviously it was a really hard game towards the end. Credit to Hibs, but glad to come away with 3 points.
You obviously scored the second goal, a lovely finish as well. You must be delighted being back in the score sheet.
Yeah, I mean, it's always nice to get a goal, but it's the balls that come into me. I'm just there to finish them off, so yeah, credit to the girls.
You obviously, it's 4 games left this season. How important is it that you build on this performance and build on the momentum, especially going against Hearts at the weekend?
Yeah, I mean, it's like we need to just focus on the next game, and that's Hearts, and then the rest will come. But yeah, no, we're really looking forward to the next game. We're just going to work hard for the rest of the week and play on Sunday.
How are the players feeling now? Obviously, you lost 3 games on the trot a couple of weeks ago, but back-to-back wins now. Do you feel like you're over that blip in performances?
Yeah, I mean, as soon as we won the Partick game, we're just focusing on the next game. I mean, we don't really look at the past. We're just focusing on the future, and yeah, hopefully we come away with 3 points on Sunday.
Well done tonight, Emily. You're tonight's player of the game.
Thank you.
Emily Whelan, she'd just very briefly, Pauline, in a few seconds, they've got Hearts City at the weekend. Hearts could be even tougher than this Hibs game.
Yeah, definitely. I think if we look at the way that Hearts played it at the weekend, they gave themselves an opportunity to stay in the game right until those final minutes, and a team that have had a fantastic season as well. And I think from what I know, have players that will be returning to their starting lineup also.
There's the table. Just a quick look as it stands with games to come. It's tight. Desperately tight. It
is tight, but I think for me, you know, to stay in this title race or those to look for those 2 Champions League spots, I think Rangers have to win tomorrow evening.
Pauline, thank you very much. It's been a great evening. What a great crack we've had. It's been a great game to watch, and a wonderful performance by both teams.
Glasgow City, I can haul a bunnik a gahun in the Hibernian ach upper game of on. As beshinge that's le barach balkosha either the hacken Sachian like Glasgow City the ach tapalisha son of calling a
Maybe if we